Today we're back at the house that pretty much everybody on YouTube told us not to buy. And naturally, if everyone on YouTube tells us not to buy the house, we gotta buy the house. I mean, whatever, it's content anyways. In this video, we'll be bringing you along as we do construction on the house and show you some of the unforeseen surprises. Unfortunately, there are many of them. All the commenters were saying, man, I wouldn't buy that for 10,000 bucks. I wouldn't buy it if you gave it to me. We had the mobile notary come out this morning. We signed on it. It was a long process. This is a bank-owned foreclosure. It was kind of a headache, so it took more than 30 days. It actually took about 40 to 50 days to get this deal done. We haven't been inside it since the last YouTube video we did on it. So I just got the keys. We're gonna go inside today, make sure nothing's different. There's not been any homeless people breaking in, so let's go find out if there's any issues. And let's get started on this project. Unfortunately, someone didn't come in here while we were under contract and do all the work for us to fix it up. So it still looks pretty bad. But fortunately, no one got in and made it worse. So you know how we like to work, we're gonna get right into it. We just closed today. Hopefully, by the end of this week, tomorrow or the next day, we'll have the levelers come and start on that. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before we can start any work on this property, we have to get this stop work order resolved. Like we said in the first video, the previous owners did not do this construction the correct way. That's why they had their job site shut down by the city. Tomorrow or Friday, we're gonna have the boogeyman come over. The boogeyman is the city inspector. This house has been flagged by the boogeyman. So they wanna go through this thing and look at all the electrical, all the plumbing, and make sure it's up to code. And it's our responsibility for buying this property that we get it up to code now. So we're gonna work hand in hand with them. There's nothing to be afraid of. There might be some things we need to correct. I'm sure there's gonna be some things we need to correct. But we're gonna have our fingers crossed that when they come over tomorrow, it's nothing too crazy, something we didn't see, but we did a pretty deep due diligence, so I think we'll be okay. We have a walkthrough with them this morning, so let's see how it goes. This is the worst day of my life.
Well guys, strike team inspector came in. It's not good. It's not really good at all. But it's part of the things you sign up for when you buy something like this, so it's all part of it. Stay tuned through the journey. But we gotta open up a lot, so they gotta see everything. And gotta get double inspections on everything. You gotta open it up, let them come look at it, and then you can cover it up, versus just doing the work and having them come inspect it.
So one of the bigger issues the inspector had was all the windows that were put in. They put in all brand new windows throughout the house, but they never got a framing inspection. The inspector wants us to open 6 inches around every window to make sure it's framed in properly and has a properly sized header.
Let's go tear apart a perfectly good home. This one you start right here. This one right here.
We got right to opening up windows, and immediately it wasn't looking good. Here you can see we exposed the window, and all there was an old 2x4 for a header. That's not going to pass in today's code. Here's another case where there was just a 2x4 for the header, but actually we found something worse on this window. Conveniently hidden behind a nail plate.
In this case, the Jack and the King are gone.
Wow.
And that one doesn't have anything. Yeah, it just transfers way over. Good stuff, good stuff. On all doorways and bathrooms, if that's your bottom plate and that's your top plate, you should have, this is your Jack, this is your King, and then your header would sit here on top of the Jack, and then your other King, and then your Jack. That's how they want it. And then your bottom, and this is your window.
And right now on this window we're missing the King, the Jack is butchered, and the header is not adequate.
That's correct. And then these are called your cripples, the ones that go under. Cripple, cripple, and then you have a cripple above your Jack. So that way that load is transferring through to the Jack, and then your cripple. And that's framing on a window, and that's what they're gonna wanna see. So yeah.
Here's Blake giving the framers the notification that their job just got a whole lot bigger. There's a lot of things that need to get addressed, so we're gonna take it one by one. Luckily, when I was underwriting the deal, I put in a lot of float. I'm very conservative with my underwriting, so there is room. It's going to cost us more than we initially budgeted. But, you know, I factored that in when we before we bought the place. Well, it can't all be bad, so here's my dad and business partner on this deal with a positive point of view.
So one of the cool things about this major rehab that we're going to have to do with the strike team coming in and bringing us up to the absolute latest codes. This is not just a rehab where we come in and we clean things up and just make it look nice, but go with some of the old infrastructure. We're having to go with everything, including arc fault interrupter, circuits and switches. Our new water line's going to be in. Our sewer line's got to be up to code. Everything has to be up, not just when the house is built, but to current code. So for the renters here, if we were going to flip it too, for investors who would look at it, we can go back and we can show where we started, and we're going to be able to show them that we did everything up to code. There's nothing here that's not code. We're going to correct it all. So there shouldn't be any hidden surprises. We're going to have our foundation done. We're going to have our headers done. We're going to have our termite damage gone, and we're going to have the latest code requirements in this duplex that we can. So that should be a big plus for us later on.
Now that we got our walkthrough done and our permit pulled, we can start demo.
This wall used to separate the laundry room from the bathroom, but now we're going to make it, get rid of this doorway and make this the entrance. So you'll walk in here, shower will be right here, washer and dryer over there, toilet over there, vanity against that wall, just to make it a little bit more efficient with the amount of space we have, because it's kind of tight in here. And since all our water and everything's already here, might as well keep it here and use it most cost-effective way we can with making the space as efficient as possible. But this wall was just thrown up here. It's not even really tied in, so bad on them, but good for us because it'll be easy to take it out. So, and just like that.
We made quick work of the wall between the bathroom and the laundry room, which is all going to become one room now. And we found a little reason why we had some water damage in there. Right here, see a lot of sunlight right there. That's not good. So every time it rained, all this, you can see this was all wet at one point in time. That's the vent. We had another one right here. We got in the attic just a minute ago. Same issue there. They didn't boot them up top on the roof. So every time it rained, all the water was coming down into the house. So there's a little bit of water damage, but we'll get that taken care of. We had the floor that we're going to try to keep, but it already had 2 patches that we're going to need to do here, as well as this wall. So we decided to just pull it all out. We'll try to find the same flooring. If we can't, we'll find something that closely matches. We'll get that laid in here. So close this wall into the kitchen. Now we'll have more room for our cabinets, countertops, cabinets. That wall will close. You'll have your door right here. You'll have prep room for your kitchen. You'll have your sink right here, and then maybe even a little island right here. So just by reconfiguring some of these openings and some of these doors allows us to make a more livable space for the future renters that are going to be in here. So we'll take every break we can get because Lord knows we need it on this one. One of the biggest things about value add investing, you have to have a good idea of the untapped potential of a property. This is a perfect example. There's a driveway here on this side for this unit, and there's a driveway there on that side for that unit. Right now, it's not much to look at, but if we get this thing cleaned up, maybe put some sort of base down. When someone's looking for a rental, the off-the-street parking, especially when you can pull up to your door, unload your groceries, that goes a big way. So a little bonus. It's nothing huge, but it does go a long way. The big lot as well. It looks like crap, so it scares a lot of people off. We're not scared of dirty, shitty lots. It's a day to clean up. We get a couple guys out here with some trash bags and a roll-off dumpster, and we'll have this place looking brand new in no time. So demo moved forward well. They got all the doors and windows exposed in one day. I think we filled up the dump truck in the first 45 minutes of being on site. We're here on day 2 of construction. As you can see behind me, we do have our lumber, which was delivered. We have our 2x8s here. Here in the city that we're in, by code, they require 2x8 headers on any exterior window. When we opened up these walls over here, they had not that. They had 2x4s. I saw plywood for some headers. It just didn't look right, and we're correcting that today with the framers. We got plenty of 2x4s, as you can see. previous contractor had just not framed things correctly, like Blake explained earlier in the video about jacks, king studs, things like that. They just chop things, put things around, and then there's also some termite damage, which we'll see here. As you can see, we got our dump trailer out today. Blake brought that out here. Already looking much better. That's our first load right there. So we probably got a couple more to go, but we have that in the budget. Getting it done, making headers. We now have the correct size header for this window and this span, 3-foot span on an exterior window. And we have our king stud and our jack stud, but that is how to properly frame a window. So that's what the inspector wants to see. We're gonna leave this open. Once we get all the windows taken care of, we're gonna have the framing inspector come out and he'll tell us if we passed or if we need to make any more adjustments. But that's what they're gonna be looking for right there. This is one that's in progress here. This was the header that was before, inadequate. It's 2x6. The city wants 2x8. So we're getting that taken care of right now, and they'll get it fixed by the end of the day. And as we opened up some of these walls and windows, we found some 2x4s with some pretty good termite damage. Luckily, it looked like an old infestation. We didn't find anything live, but there is some damage, and it is going to have to be addressed. So here it is once complete. We have the new wall in that the sheetrock will go on to close off this room from the other unit, and the new stud with no termite damage. Here's the before and after of the front wall that had all that water damage and rot. We got water coming down into this wall. Obviously, mold. All this wall is probably going to be opened up and redone. And that's exactly what we did. We took this whole wall, demoed it, and just went with a new header, new base plate, new studs, everything. We got our water heater closets framed in, as well as a landing and staircase for the second unit. So here we are, second week of the job. As you can see, a lot of demo getting done right here. They just tore all this out. We've already done one truckload. All the trash that was loaded up here earlier in the video, and got one load out. But this is just, you can see some of this lumber that was here in place. 4x4 is almost totally rotten out. A lot of that stuff had to go. So I'm real happy with the progress that we've made this week. Right now, I'm just a little concerned with that plumbing issue. When we did our initial walkthrough, we found that the plumbing was not connected to the main drain line that was trenched here in the ground. As you can see, they just stubbed it out, all the new plumbing they did, and they didn't connect it. So we're exposing everything, making sure everything's good, no pipe separated or anything like that. So far, it looks like it is a 4-inch sewer line, which is necessary for the amount of bathrooms that we do have here. So that's good. I was afraid it might have been a 3-inch. We're going to have to go in and replace it, but there still could be some issues. We tried to run a camera down it out to the sewer, and we ran into a blockage. So the more we expose this pipe, the more we'll know. Hopefully there's not a tree that has some roots that are penetrating into the PVC or the pipe hasn't come apart, but we're gonna find that out when we expose it. So as you can see, making some progress. We had to expose this wall because they could see that it was new. There were some flood cuts here when we first walked through with the inspector. So he was able to tell that these studs were new, that this was all new framing. So he wanted it opened up to make sure it was framed right. Just little things. I mean, once they got in here, it looks like everything was done correctly, so they didn't even have to do anything but the inspector wants to see it. A lot of people in the comments said, do not buy that property. I want to buy it. It looks like a shed. It looks horrible. You got to take your emotions out of investment properties. You're thinking of them in two different ways. This is not your forever home. I know a lot of people on YouTube see houses and they compare it to their home. That's not how it is. This is investment property. You got to know what will rent in your area. People are saying, oh, that red door looks horrible. I won't buy the house. It looks like a shed. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It matters what it rents for, and it matters what you can sell it for based on those rents. That's how investment property is valued. It's valued by the cash flow that it brings in every month. If I can put 2 renters in this place paying $1,500 each, I can sell this place for $300,000. That's $150,000 a unit. That's how investment property is valued. It's valued at about 100 times the rent, monthly rent. So, you know, take your emotions. If you are going to get into investing, you have to take your emotions out of it. It's really a numbers game, and that's what it all breaks down to. So I think this is going to be a good one for us, but we'll see how it turns out. If it's not, we're going to show it anyways because we're transparent on this channel and we bring y'all along the way. So we've had a couple of surprises this video. I hope we don't have too many more of those on this project. Hopefully if we do have any surprises, they're good surprises.
If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.